Alright, what's up everybody? It's the Cosmic here. I wanted to go over the chart tools that I use for my swing trading and then what I use for my day trading. Um, I do want to give credit to Mother Goose. He was that video that he did last was showing some good indicators what Superman uses. Superman, if you don't know him, he's a prophetly guru, and he's a really good swing trader. And typically, what he uses is RSI and EMA. Um, but with what I've done a little bit more digging on for swing trading, what's really good to pair up will be Mcad and your RSI. So if you have E-Trade Pro, you just go to the drop down box and you just select Mcad and leave all the settings like it is. And then for RSI, you'll just go down to your drop down menu and click RSI. And you see it populates into here. I have mine edited. I keep the period the same, RSI 14. You can change it however you want, but I like the 14. You can change your line color, and this is the key thing to kind of go ahead and change. You want overbought to be anything over 70 and oversold anything over 30. You can keep all this the same too, but if you want to change the color palette, you can do that. And what I do is whenever it's overbought, I put red because I don't want to stay in a long position that's overbought. That's actually an ideal for me to go ahead and short because that is showing that there's way too much buying happening and there's a possible momentum shift. And for undersold, I'll go green because just the exact opposite. There's too much selling and it's possible for a momentum shift, as you can see here. So I'll just exit that one out to clear some of the clutter. I have my volume all the way at the bottom just because it's easy to tell. It's easy to look at volume. And Mcad, what it does is show actual momentum change as well. So you have two lines. You'll have a fast Mcad, which is my my white line here, and then you have a slow Mcad, which is my red line. And whenever these lines cross is whenever you have a possible momentum change. So you see right here on XBA back in the day, this was back in March, it had a momentum change. Let's actually go in on a 14-day. So if I were going to start looking at XBA, whenever it took off, when was the first time it started really spike? Back here at the end of April, the right around here. First time it was in March. All right, so this day, right? March 25th and the March 26th, they dropped that offering. All right, so right before that, you see this. You see a whole, couple days full of undersold or oversold. Then you see your line start to converge here. And then the next day is whenever it starts to take off. And your momentum starts to change. You stop seeing bars growing on the downside and you see it growing on the top side. And your RSI is saying it's no longer oversold. It's actually, in a healthy range. Well, what would be the best day for you to get out of this? If this was your indicators to buy, and you're like, okay, I want to get in here because the momentum is still going. When is your when is your indicator to sell? Well, right around here would be a better good indicator to sell. I wish this wasn't so close together. And honestly, the sell point really hasn't hit yet because my Mcad, my lines have essentially stayed close together, and you see that there is barely a trend change throughout the month of April and going into the beginning of throughout May as well. And you see right here, whenever it starts getting a little bit oversold, our our fast Mcad line starts to break away from our slow Mcad line. So that's showing that it is a healthy trend upwards, a healthy buying trend. And then you start to see it whenever it goes complete Nova. It's still showing oversold here on RSI, but your MCAT is still so far away that it's something that you want to keep your position. There's no obvious trend change happening until like right now. And right now it's still no obvious trend change. It's still going up and down, but until these two lines cross, that won't be that will be my point of, okay, let's start thinking about exiting this trade. And I mean, it might happen soon, just because you just see the trend, but you never know. They might release another PR and this just keeps going up and it'll stay overbought, but I won't worry about it being overbought as long as my MCAT is showing some healthiness. And for day trading, now these are the ones that I am going to start using for day trading. First is VWAP. If you don't know what it means, look it up. It's volume weighted average price. So essentially shows you the trend if it's a more bullish or bearish. So if it's above VWAP, then it's going to be a little bit more bullish. If it's below, then the bears have control. So I like to make mine pink. Then I do another study, and then I go to EMA, exponential moving average, and I throw 3 of them in there. So one is going to be EMA 9, and I will make that white. Another will be EMA 15. I make that blue. And my last one is going to be EMA 25. And I'll keep that green. Okay. So while day trading, if I'm actually looking at something to play throughout the day versus having a long time a swing play on it. First off, you'll see why I want to use EMA and the RSI over, or I mean MCAT and the RSI over EMA and VWAP for my swing trades, because they kind of typically hug the stock and you get more out of it at the end of the day. But you can also sit here and compare them, not the end of the day, during the day, but you can compare them on a long-term chart to see what is actually happening to the stock. You see the VWAP actually breaks away from your EMA, and it's just like your MCAD. The white line breaks away from the red line, and it stays growing. And then up here, it's not showing the peak, where the peak it's showing is right here on the MCAD. But that's whenever you start to get, convergence back from your VWAP to your EMA. And whenever these start to cross, that's whenever you start to get more some changes. So let's go into something that was a little bit more volatile today. ZA. IZEA was a good one for today. And we'll go on 5-minute chart. So with IZEA, we'll start with yesterday, and this was what was the start of its run? Actually, yeah, we'll go back to the start of its run, and we'll just do a whole analysis on each one of these and why it'll be a good potential to buy and when would it the best time to sell at. So for swing trading, you see that you start to get this trend up. And I'm pretty sure they were also releasing news around this time as well. And you start to see your RSI saying that it's overbought. But your Mcad is still staying a little bit close together. Well, this would be a signal for me to start my swing. This is showing that it has positive momentum and it has positive growth. Now, for the day trading, you zoom in here and you look at your lines. Look where VWAP is at. It broke above your VWAP and it stayed above it. Well, what about your EMA9? It broke above it and it stayed above. It actually stayed above all your EMAs. So this would be ideal for me to actually hold into after hours, and possibly if it stays that healthy, hold into the next day. I know this is hindsight trading, but this is what helps everybody actually see how the patterns are moving in real time. Yeah, even in after hours, look, it's well above VWAP, so I have no sell indicators on this at all. So next day, say that my typical swing trade for overnight hold position, I'll get in right there and I'll sell about 7 o'clock, around 7 to 8 o'clock. I kind of wait to 8 o'clock to see what happens, but knowing me, since it didn't spike at 8 o'clock, I probably would have just held my or sold my position right here. But if you're going based off trading on the chart, that the fact that it dropped a little bit below EMA would have scared me out, and and it actually dropped below VWAP. That would be my indicator to sell. Now, pairing that with the RSI and the Mcad, you see that it does start to show a little bit of a trend change. But with that trend change on your RSI, you don't really see that it's being oversold. So the swing trading mindset I have is my two indicators to really get out of it if it starts to show a trend downwards on my RSI, and if whenever my fast and my slow EMA cross and show a trend change. So let's see what happens if the trend change is true. And it wasn't. They actually tried to change trends, but it stayed up until open. And whenever open happened and I'd start seeing these trends down, and then I start seeing the RSI go from being overbought down to being, closer to being oversold. Close, never got to over sold, but closer. This would be something that I would be looking to try and get out of for swing on my swing, and pair that with it being above my VWAP, my EMAs. This would be something I want to be comfortable in after it's dipped that low. And then if I feel I start to see it, changes. Like you always want to play it safe. You don't want to just be in this position, see it goes down, and be like, okay, well, let me just hold and hope. No. My plan would be start my position very small. Say I want my total position size by the end of my trade on a swing trade to be, 200 shares. Start my position here at, 50 shares, 25 shares, and I'll write it. And whenever the first time it starts showing weakness and the swing, I will be like, okay, is this a key level? Is it a key support level? And I would have done my pre-chart analysis, but I would see that it is the pre-market highs or the aftermarket highs. So typically I will have a line just a horizontal line. I missed it. I skipped it. I'll have a horizontal line drawn right about here, and the after hours highs. And then you'll see that that's actually where it bounced off in the pre-market as well. So my plan will be, I will add to my position, and if it breaks below that and it comes down to this support, that's my loss. I'm not going to let it crack below there. So I let it truly test its resistance points and everything before I decide to actually add onto my position. So I wouldn't have added as soon as it hit that line. I would have added after it's shown me that it can get up back above that support to show, and after it's bounced, I would have probably bought back right here on this uptick if we're looking at the 5-minute chart, just so it can show me that it actually proved to stay above its support, and then right around that time is whenever your lines start to converge again to show some more strength. So that's essentially how I'll do that basic analysis. And then in terms of the long swing, just looking at IZEA, it really didn't show a whole lot of signs of dumping until it did. And that's the problem with trying to swing until you're a billionaire or something like that. You want to swing whenever it starts to show the most strength. You want to sell into your strength. So if I set my plan to say, hey, I want this to be a 3-day long swing, if they have upcoming news, just like Mark right now has upcoming news the 28th or 23rd. Well, that's going to be something that I am planning on swinging until the 23rd. And if I didn't already have my position way too large, I would be adding to try to bring my average down a little bit and build my position up. But I essentially jumped right in with almost the max amount of position size that I want. You'll see this was all essentially 1 or 2 days. I was in a 500 share position whenever I really should have just been in 100 share position and added onto my shares as my play planned out. Same with G and US. I threw in a straight up 100 shares whenever I knew I should have, since it was a higher price stock, typically higher than what I normally play, up in the 5 range. I should have actually started off with, instead of that 70 at 630, I should have started off with maybe 20, 25 and build my way up into this 100 share position. I really wanted a 150 position that I wanted to get into. And I did the same thing with XBA. I jumped straight in 300 shares and didn't leave time for my plan to build up into what I really wanted it to, because I typically find myself getting in at a higher price. And that's why I'm really enjoying using Mcad and RSI, because I would find myself, for example, trying to chase this spike right here, not knowing that it's close to being oversold. Mcad is showing a reversal coming up soon, and I would have gotten in here. I would have come down here if I was trying to day trade it, and as soon as it, if I wasn't patient enough and I saw it breaks to support, I would have tried to get out for a loss, even though that's the best case scenario, honestly, would be take your loss around here, or right around here, wait for that perk up, because it never broke. But you don't know that going into the future. You just know what your support and what your resistance levels are. And these indicators are what I'll use since I am both swinging and trading. I know it looks a little messy, and there's a whole lot of videos that will break it down way more into detail, because I'm still learning, but I'm doing this to learn with y'all. I'm sharing knowledge that I've done, and I want y'all to share knowledge that what you've done, because that's the way that we all grow. Not every single one of us are doing the exact same thing. I know some people are doing, buy the dips, just buy the dips, sell into strength. Well, I want to make myself a little bit more patient, be able to stare at these red numbers and not freak out. So this swing trading is teaching me, let your plan follow through. Don't panic out. So that's essentially all that I have with the RSI, Mcad, and EMA. If y'all have any questions, I'll go ahead and end the video right here. Yeah, leave a like, subscribe. I will be leaving a link to my Subscribe Star. Our Subscribe Star here for anonymous traders. I'll be putting it up here in a bit, but we just started it up and all that fun stuff. So the tiers are right here. Members Plus, gain access to the server, so you get all of our breakdowns in our watch list. It's $1 a month. That's a deal for a whole lot of people. But you also get other things for free. But this is helping us, build the server. $5 a month, you will just have all access to free streams. These streams are going to stop being free here soon. To be a don't worry, all you OG members, you automatically get to have the live stream since you are part of the first 100 members here. Pro member is $15 a month. It'll give you 4 times entries of all our contest. You get all of our content. Everybody's going to be, you'll be upgraded to pro member status. And any questions that you send me will be getting a guaranteed video coverage. So I will actually make a lesson going over any comments, any stocks that you want me to look at, any questions about certain trading tactics. And if I don't know it, I'll tell you, hey, I don't know it. Let me research it, and I'll let you know what I find. And I'll give you the information I found from there. Because I know finding a YouTube video with a quick synopsis is a whole lot better than having to go through 300 hours of research. But with some of this stuff, you actually have to do that much research. And then, of course, you got 100 tiers, just essentially a God amongst us. Can't foresee anybody paying us $100 a month to be subscribed or be a member. But it's there. It's 10 times entry on all contests. So, it's really good for your bets. But that I just put that there just to have it there. I really don't expect that to happen. Not anytime soon anyways. But yeah, thank y'all so much. Twitter, subscribe to me at Twitter at dbrown3630, and yeah, my YouTube. Going to end the stream, the recording here. Thank you so much, guys. Peace.